Welcome, people. Hope everyone is having a great Sunday afternoon. So, you know what? Let's go straight into it. This show is sponsored by the London FA Challenge Cup and also Independent Vets as part of Independent. Is that Nana? Let's see if we can get Nana in. So let's start from the top. One of the angriest men in grassroots football, Black Klopp, Paul Barrett. How you doing, sir?
Good.
We have Big Sam, Jamal. How you doing, sir?
I'm Big Sam now. Good evening.
We have Nana, who's been struggling with his he's just been struggling. Can you hear us, Nana?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes. Yep. Loud and clear. We have the Oracle coach Barry. How you doing, sir?
No, good evening to Breeze. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
And then we have Quicksand, aka Raymond, manager of Independent Vets. How you doing, sir?
I'm good.
I want to thank
Quicksand,
everyone that's.
No, you gotta leave him, Nana. You just gotta leave him. Jamal has given this. He's announced Jamal as Big Sam, so he's got to announce me as Quicksand. So hey, it is what it is. At least there's some part of me that's still quick.
So, guys, I want to thank everyone that's still tuning in. Please get your questions in. Please, can I get your comments? We are here for you guys. And you know what? We will start off with the debate regarding kneeling down before Premiership games. And you know, is this something that is kind of now more so a PR stunt? Does it kind of help the cause? I know Zaha and the kind of Brentford players have kind of stated their opinion. But before we kind of get the opinion of the panel, I just want to show you exactly what Zaha said. And this video is courtesy of Mr. Beanie Man.
I feel like taking the knee is degrading stuff because growing up, my parents just let me know that I should be proud to be black no matter what. And I just feel like we should just stand tall. We do it before games, and even sometimes people forget that we have to do it before games. Like people pass the ball before and forget, trying to get the meaning behind the whole thing. It's becoming, I don't know, it's becoming like something that we just do now, like that. And that's not enough for me. I'm not going to take the knee. I'm not going to wear Black Lives Matter on the back of because it feels like it's a target. Yeah. We're isolating ourselves. We're trying to say we're equal, but we're isolating ourselves with these things that are not even working anyway.
So that's what Zaha had to say, and he's literally put out another statement on Sky Sports News. And you know what, Nana, let me go straight to you. I mean, what is your opinion about kneeling down before Premiership matches?
Well, I think it's been a good gesture. It's a symbol that brings hope. It started way over in the States for Colin Kaepernick, and it symbolizes or brings attention to the racial injustices that's happening around. So it is a big deal. I get where Zaha is coming from to a point. But I would say that you don't stop it. You don't give up. If you think that's not working, do something else. Stand up, stand tall, lift that fist up and be counted. Because you saying this is not doing anything, so everybody should stop. It's just gonna stop, and people are just gonna forget all the toil, all this while up to now. So I do agree with him to an extent, but I don't think it should stop. I think where the position that he is in right now and has always been, it's a superstar in football. Do something else. You start like Kaepernick did. People have done all they can to get you where you are. So if you think it's not working for you, do something else. Don't just stop. Don't teach the next generation that, hey, if it's not working, quit. That's my view on it.
Okay. Ray, I'd kind of look to get your opinion.
I actually agree with Zaha. Because I would ask any action that you do, the question I would ask is, what are you trying to achieve by doing it? What's the end goal? What are you trying to get? And I would challenge anyone to tell me what kneeling. I mean, people are mixing up Colin Kaepernick's statement with this, and Colin Kaepernick was not completely different, but the reason why he knelt was different, and it doesn't, to me, translate over. You got to remember, in America, before any sporting event, they have the national anthem, and they're very patriotic, and they're very much, we stand and blah, blah, blah. So his gesture was at a time where you want us all to be united when you're not treating us the same. So I need to do something to show you that I'm not happy with what is happening to my people. And in the beginning, he didn't do anything. And it was only because a vet reached out to him, they had a conversation, and he chose to kneel to show his objection to what was going on. But that doesn't translate over here. We're not, as a nation, as patriotic. So the kneeling is basically a tick box exercise now. It's, let's kneel, let's do it, okay, let's get going. It doesn't have any weight. I can't see where you're trying to get to by kneeling, because the people who actually have, you say, the power to influence or the power to enforce change, or whatever way you want to look at it, kneeling means nothing to them. They probably don't even turn on the telly until after the kneeling's finished, and then, okay, let's go. So I agree with it. I'm fully with it.
Okay. Paul, I would love to get your opinion.
I'm disappointed in Zaha's statement.
Hello,
it's a
Paul.
short road that we have to try. It's going to be a very long road. I think people think that this is going to be. Can you hear me? Hello,
Paul, can you hear us?
Hello.
I can hear you, but it's kind of breaky.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, go on,
Jamal, go downstairs. Go to Jamal. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Was it me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
it's not a
yes.
short road. It's a short road. It's a long road, long path we have. I think the kneeling, it makes people have a conversation which they're very uncomfortable about. But it needs to be had. It's never been spoken before, this conversation. It needs to be had. It's not my or people of color job to teach you what racism is. It's for you to go out and find out what it is. The kneeling sends a message because it will happen up before every game, and it will keep on people in their heads. Why are they doing it? Oh my God, they're still doing it. Season after doing it, it gets the conversation going, which needs to happen. The conversation needs to happen because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. People are scared to talk about it. You bring it up at a dinner party. Most of you go to a dinner party, but you bring it up at a dinner party, the air gets sucked out of the room. You know, it needs to happen. So we can all, you can say, what is it like to be a person of color in Britain? Because your story isn't the same as my story. As I keep on saying, my story isn't the same story as a white person's story. Completely different. My England isn't the same England as a white person's. My experience going into a shop isn't the same experience as they're going into a shop. My experience driving a nice car isn't their experience of driving a nice car. So it needs to be had. I think the kneeling should continue.
Yeah, and for me, I think I'm kind of similar to Paul, even though Ray and Nana made good points. I think I think Wilfred and Ivan Tony also make good points as well. I just think, Ray has broken it down in a good way where it's like, if you're going to be doing anything, you need to understand the point of it. But I don't see a point of stopping it. I think just when people forget about injustice or anything, before every match seems can kind of just remind people. Paul said it. Yeah, it's a very long road. We're nowhere near eradicating racism. That's going to take a very long time. It's going to take as long as it takes to find a cure for cancer. It's going to be a long, long road. But for a person to be racially abused, even on social media, and it to be all over the news every single time, I think that is a huge improvement towards at least the awareness of it. And I just think white people are taking racism much more seriously now because of the Black Lives Matter movement, because of the kneeling, things like that. I don't think now is the time to stop it. How do you feel about it, Barry?
For me?
Yeah.
Good evening. Sorry. The kneeling. To be honest, I'm more into what are we gonna gain from kneeling? What is the point of kneeling? Is there gonna be reform? Is there gonna be some sort of policy discussed by the government, local level, main government? What's the point? People keep saying it makes awareness. Everybody's aware of racism. It's like that's why I don't march. I don't go on marches and speeches and that. I'm on about going straight to the head. We're going to keep repeating. This is like a token thing for me. And then everybody kneels, you get up, what's going on? You speak about Black Lives Matter. Have you been on the Black Lives Matter forum? What are Black Lives Matter doing with all the money they've received? You're not talking about that. Black Lives Matter is more for LGBT. That's what it was formed for, and they're Marxists and they're socialists. So we've got to look at the whole picture of what this whole agenda is about. For me personally, I'm in favor of the players not leading anymore. And we need more affirmative action towards racism. Everybody knows what racism is. I don't think it's just about awareness. It's a much bigger agenda than just awareness. That's just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion, but I've been on their website and I've read Black Lives Matter website, and I've seen a lot of stuff that they said and what they are trying to achieve as a movement, Black Lives Matter. Our movement of color and racism is completely different. And racism can only be done, you have to have the power to enforce racism. That's how racism works. So that's just my opinion. I appreciate everyone's opinion because everybody's got a different way. We've got to attack it from every angle as we can. But gentlemen, very good. I agree with everyone tonight. Some very good opinions, but that's just my opinion.
Cool. I'm sorry about that. Actually, I didn't hear Paula Jamal's opinion, so I'm sorry. That was something at my end. We have Emeka in the studio. Emeka, how you doing, sir?
Well, I'm good. How are you guys?
We're all good.
Good, man. I'm
all
good.
good.
How are you?
Good.
Love to get your opinion about kneeling before games.
For me, I think I like it. I think it should continue because I also have to think that for me anyway, I don't think racism is going to change in the next few generations, but we have to start somewhere. And I also remember how inquisitive I was as a child, and I think now if you're switching on as a young kid to watch football, you're going to ask your parents, okay, why are they kneeling? And then it's just going to give you that different kind of perspective from an early age. And then, from time, I guess it will build up from there. But it's not something, I don't think anyone thought that by kneeling that racism was going to stop or it was going to affect anything immediately. But I think, you have to start somewhere. You have to do little things, even if it just changes a few people's minds for the future. It's better than nothing.
Thank you, Emeka.
It's an interesting point there. That hold on, sorry. It's an interesting point he's just said there. You just had a comment from something LC that said kneeling hasn't done anything yet. I mean, this is the point I'm trying to get at. Kneeling hasn't changed anything. It needs to stop. I mean, why do some people think you can just stop something just like that? Why? Why is there I don't know, a lifestyle of wanting to get something tomorrow? I've got to get it now. Got to get it tomorrow. Some things take a long time. This is worth fighting for. Not for us, for your kids, for your kids' kids. It's going to take a long time. You've got to be with it. Got to stay with it. It's just like saying Arsenal should get sacked. Well, who are you going to race him with? I don't know. Just sack him. You know what I mean? You need to have. I just get frustrated with our people when they see something and they expect this thing that we're battling against has been built on hundreds of years. How do you think it's going to end just like that? You think people just want to let go of power just like that? No, no. You have to stay with it. You have to stay with it. Come on, man. You can't expect something just to happen overnight.
You see, I don't disagree. You see, the thing is, Paul and Emeka, at the end of the day, I'm much like all of you. I want racism. I want something to be done about racism. But my thing is, kneeling should have been a vehicle to start affecting real change. Or not even real change. It should have been a vehicle to start bringing in actual discussions at government level. Now, we're still in a position where someone can still abuse someone on social media and nothing happens. We've been kneeling now for nearly a year. And you can still go on YouTube, you can still go on Facebook and abuse someone, and the powers that be say, we can do nothing. There's nothing we can do. And if you can't even enforce the companies that control that, because don't believe them when they tell you there's nothing they can do. There is something they can do. They can make words that flag up that require things to be checked. You can't go on there and call someone an N-word and there's no algorithm. They can put algorithms to follow me in terms of if I go and look at Nike, they show me adverts all about Nike. So if you can do that, why can you not attach an algorithm to racist terms? But they don't want to. So if the government is unwilling to enforce them to do that, it shows you that kneeling isn't working. And I get it's a long road, and I get it's something worth fighting for, and I agree we need to do, as people, do something to get this thing moving. But I ask you, just because someone's kneeling on the telly, if you got people who are racist and their child says, why are they kneeling? What do you think they're going to be told? These idiots think we're going to stop feeling the way we do because they're going to kneel. I've even heard some people say that's where they should be. So it brings the question, what are you trying... We're not using the right vehicle to move this conversation forward. I agree it's going to have to be some hard conversations that hurt people. But to me, the kneeling in before a game, I don't see that as the vehicle. Let's start raising these questions to people who actually can affect change.
But what I say though, right?
Actually, no, what, Nana, let Coach and Barry finish, please.
Just quickly, but what are we trying to? What do people really think you're going to achieve from kneeling? Is that our strategy? Is this kneeling our strategy? Where did it come from? Whose strategy is it? We marched, we've done civil rights, we've done this same position. You think kneeling's more effective than what they've done back in the 60s? Do you not really believe that?
I think football is much more popular now. So I think, they have, is talking about vehicles, social media is vehicle,
Jamal, honestly speaking, I think it's a cop-out. I think parents should be educating their children about you're going to need kneeling it up. You should be educating the children who they are. There's not just saying they're kneeling and
white. We don't have a lot of proof that that's not happening, though. So I'm just saying
we've got to educate ourselves. We keep waiting for someone else to do something. We've got to do it ourselves. Stop waiting for other people to do stuff. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and yeah, and I know.
Could I chip in, please?
Okay, go on then.
Let's look across the pond. Let's look at the States. It's over a year now since Floyd died. And in terms of killing, the police brutality and the killing of the minority and the BMA groups treating them differently by the police, has anything changed since then? One thing I know that has changed is there's a lot more conversation about the issues that are happening. There's a lot more eyes looking into police brutality, the way blacks are being treated, so on and so forth. Now, black people are still being killed the same way. Like, there's been several videos which have come out even after Floyd has died, and the police are being treating the black people the same way. Now, it hasn't changed much. However, you can see referendum in Parliament, MPs talking, a lot more eyes into the matter, people looking at what is happening and shedding light, spreading the word. I think the point here in terms of Zaha is, by stopping, what message are you giving out? Are you going to have the right reaction? You have the power to do something else. Like I said before, if you want to stand up, don't kneel. If you want to stand up and put your fist up and start a new trend, do it. Do something. But stopping for me feels like a cop out. Stopping for me says, if something's not working, give up. That's exactly what it is. You can't just say, well, my mother says X, Y, Z.
Everything Chelsea keeps on putting these comments in. Let me ask you, I don't know if he's a black guy. I would like to know if he's a black guy or a white guy. But if he's a person of color, he's saying that before kneeling, what did people do? Let me ask him, what did he do? If he's a person of color, what did he do? What did he do? If he's a football player, grassroots or whatever, what did he do about it? Because it hasn't just started because they started kneeling, abusing, guys driving past in white vans shouting out at the bus stop, "Oi, you know what I mean?" It hasn't a night out, a group, and you're walking alone, and so it hasn't just started now. What did he do? Let's not infight this. Let's not infight this. We have to move together. That's what they're banking on. That's what they're banking on. And I'm not saying all white people, because that would be stupid. I'm saying the racists. That's what they're banking on. Sooner or later, people of color will get pissed off with it because it's not moving fast enough. They'll get pissed off and we can go about our business. That's what they're banking on. We have to move together as a collective.
Yeah.
But the thing is, my thing is, and in response to Paul, first response to Nana, you used the word, and the word that you used is trend. No policy has ever been fixed by a trend. A trend is just something that happens for a little while and then stops. And that's exactly what this is. It's a trend. We're not doing anything you see, kneeling, I wouldn't have a problem with kneeling if it was underpinned by actual proper action.
Exactly.
So, demanding our MPs to actually, how many of us who feel kneeling is correct have actually taken the time to write a letter to our MP and say, I would like you to move a motion in Parliament to say, Instagram, put in keywords or don't operate here? How many of us have actually taken that step to do it? It should have been a vehicle to, okay, we brought attention. Now what do we do? And that's my issue. And that's what I get from what Zaha's saying. Kneeling is just kneeling now. That's all it is. It's just kneeling. It's not the backbone of something else that's a bit more now. All right, now we're demanding actual change. That's my issue. And that's the point that I'm making. And that's what I agree with Zaha on. It has only become a tick box exercise. You can watch the players and see their reaction. It's down and up.
So Ray, you're saying if he stops, if he says I'm not going to kneel again, he stops kneeling, you think that's okay?
I think it's not for me to tell him it's okay. It's for him.
No, I'm asking your opinion.
Me personally, I agree with him in the sense of if you're just going to kneel, if we set. All right, let me ask you a question, Nana. If we continue to kneel for the next 100 years and do nothing else, do you think racism is going to ever stop?
I think it won't stop only because we're kneeling. But exactly. I think that
so it has to have something else with it.
Yes, but for a person of color in the state that you're in, as a celebrity, as a professional, I think the message you're sending out to your kids and your kids' kids and the future generation is that if something is not working, stop. I give up. It's not working.
Because
Because
he hasn't said stop.
right.
He hasn't said stop. He said
He
stop
said
kneeling.
he's not needed again.
No, yeah, he said he's not kneeling, but he's saying he wants to see change. You have to remember, Nana, he is one of them people who's getting slaughtered on social media, and he's telling you, I'm feeling like it's a target on my back. Because all he's doing is running. He's just kneeling, but he's not actually doing anything back. It's like, you look at someone like LeBron. LeBron saw that there was an issue in his local community, and what did he do? Go out and create a school. Now, he could have just sat there posting, but he wanted to do something some action with it. And that's what I'm saying. We need to have actual action behind it. Kneeling just for kneeling's sake is exactly that. It's kneeling.
But Raymond,
Yeah.
That's what we was talking about. I said about policy and reform. There's none going on attributed to it. The only people that benefit is Black Lives Matter with their LGBT movement. They're the one who's receiving all the funding and pushing their agenda, linking LGBT with racism and black people's problems. That's what is happening. I think people really, really need to read and have a look what their policies are and what they believe in and what their agenda is. And I think it's so poor that we've got kneeling to be the way we're going to move forward. Kneeling. Are we serious? Strong black men kneeling. Serious.
I mean,
Are we serious? Come on, gentlemen.
I mean, I know when it started, Match of the Day did a 30-second piece when it actually started, and every single game you would watch, everyone would kneel. Now it's just the first game, and then every other games they just continue as normal.
Tabriz, do you think they would ever kneel? Would the racists ever kneel to change the policy? Huh? Let's turn it around. Would they ever kneel?
But not even just that. Sorry, Barry.
Not even just that. When gay people and others wanted change in policy, when they wanted change, they didn't have to kneel. They approached the powers that be and demanded that they take action. They wrote letters in to their members of public and members of parliament and demanded action. We're not doing that. We're just sat here saying we're going to keep kneeling. Nothing else.
I've actually got a question. I'd say a question or comment. I don't know if you guys watched the podcast interview with Zaha on the Julie, when he was kind of talking about that, and he also mentioned, he's like, you know what, I'm not gonna go to kick it out campaigns. I'm not gonna talk about racism. I'm fed up. Is that the right thing to say as an influential black player?
That's where I'm getting at from the beginning. It's not the right thing to say. I think the issue is with the kneeling is, if you don't want to kneel anymore, fine. Can you give us something else to do? Something else to show that solidarity against something. Everything Barry and Ray are saying, fantastic. Of course, it needs to go deeper. Contact your local MP, contact your local council, contact Boris Johnson, contact whoever you want. We want policies to change. I don't know what specific policies you mean, but obviously, if we sat you down, you'd be able to come up with something. But the issue I have with Wilfred Zaha and Ivan Toney is that they haven't come out and said, stop kneeling. Instead of that, we're going to stand and raise our fists, or we're going to link arms or something. Just like Paul said, you want to sack the manager, but you don't want to tell us who you want to replace that manager. If kneeling is the manager, you want that sack, completely fine. Can you please give us a solution to this problem? Wilfred Zaha, Ivan Toney, these people have reach. They have admirers. They have people who respect and love them, and
they have platforms.
They will stop other people. I should stop kneeling too. We've got white people kneeling. We've got French people kneeling. We've got Algerian people kneeling. All the players are kneeling in solidarity. We've had the Bournemouth players come up and say, "I understand, but I will never understand." To me, that's powerful because it's progress. White people are now saying, "Wait a second." In 2014, I got referred to as colored by a senior member of the Football Association. When I left that meeting, after he referred to me as colored, 6-7 white people came around to me and apologized for him. Apologized for what he said. If that was 10 years previous, or even a few years previous, or I was around different types of people, they wouldn't even have realized how that could be offensive. If that isn't progress, I don't know what is. If that progress isn't enough, that's fine. I support you 100%. I put up a video on Instagram that has EFL content Within 30 seconds, Instagram took it down. That means they can take down monkey emojis. They can take out N words. They can take out any sort of racial slander in seconds if they wanted to. But if the progress isn't enough, that's fine. But there definitely is progress.
Jamal, I've actually got a question to you. So, when that senior member of staff, called you coloured, why didn't you challenge that person there and then, rather than let other people apologize on that behalf of them?
Because I was selected as part of elite referees to referee at an international tournament. It was at an international tournament, and I was the only black representative. I was the only person who wasn't white there. So, not that I didn't feel intimidated at all, but I definitely wanted to speak out in a way that was the least confrontational. I don't know if I was in that position again, if I would do it the same. I just know that it worked out pretty well, rather than just being seen as, oh, an angry black person. I wanted it to hit in a different way. So after those people came and apologized to me, it made me look at some of them in a different way, because not only they understood. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I accepted at the time, and I said, I'm going to deal with this later. They came to me and apologized. They surrounded me, and that made me say, wait a second, I'm surprised here. I'm actually impressed almost here. And then that person had to go through their suspension, their finding, and their retraining, whatever they had to go through. So for me, I was like, okay, you know what? This is progress, because let's be honest, true progress would mean a person in that position wouldn't even be able to say that. They would know not to say that in the first place. So obviously we aren't there yet, but hey, this is not the 60s. There are people in the street getting sprayed down with fire hoses. Okay, let's be honest, it is a huge improvement. And let's be honest, in terms of mankind, I'd much rather be a black person now than a black person 50 years ago, 70 years ago, what some of our grandparents went through, what my father went through. So let's not act like this isn't progress. Ivan Toney, you are an up-and-coming footballer that people love. Wilfred Zaha, people think you're one of the best black British, the Croydon Pelly. People think you are an amazing footballer. I agree. You have reach, you have power, you have influence. If you're going to say, I'm not kneeling anymore, I'm doing this. Here are my T-shirts. Here's my Instagram page. We're going to fight back, people. Then cool. Don't say, oh, I don't want to kneel no more. Oh, it's just not having any effect. Oh, I'm having a target. My Black Lives Matter. What's that? That's not enough.
Jamal, Tabriz.
Yeah. Sorry. Literally, I just wanted Emeka's opinion. So you play semi-pro, non-league. Is it a conversation that you like guys, as individuals or as a kind of club have actually had regarding kneeling?
No, we didn't kneel. Our league didn't kneel at all. It wasn't even brought to us about, whether we wanted to. We never know.
Is it kind of something that you talk to your teammates about, or is it just something that you just see on TV and just and just move on?
Yeah, man, just move on. I think that's similar to like Zaha. I think we just, as black people, just get to that only black man in the team. You just kind of don't want to be the one to walk into the change room. Is that right, guys? You guys don't understand. You don't understand. Like, you can't just walk into a change room and do that. But in terms of moving things forward, I think as black people, we need to take control of finance. And I think, if you're like a Zaha, Sterling, if you want things to change, when people like Nike or Nivea, whoever it is, are coming to you with all of these deals, just like, okay, what percentage of black people have you got in higher level jobs in your, if you want me to actually be promoting your products, like, what are you doing for black people? Because you're asking me to go out and get, black people to put, put money into your pockets. Like, what are you doing for black people? If they're not doing anything and you're not seeing improvement in these companies that you're sponsoring, just be like, no, I'm not on it. And I think you earn enough as a footballer when all of these extras are coming your way. I think you have a chance to make a difference in that way.
Yeah.
Now you see that there is spot on, and you see there's a few things Emeka touched on. We're still at a point where, as a black man, you see, and this is my point with the kneeling. The televised games, we're kneeling. The FA is saying no, everyone's going to kneel. Now the FA should have said kneeling goes right the way across the board, right the way down. I don't care if it's a muddy pitch on a Sunday morning, you all will kneel, because this is an issue that's important to us. Like, I get emails about rainbow laces. Putting in rainbow laces I get those emails from the FA. So why are we saying at semi-pro level we're not gonna kneel? Why is that not a
You
conversation?
can't, because what happens if someone doesn't kneel? Are you going to find them?
No. It should be a
That's the
choice.
issue.
It should be a choice. You can't force someone to kneel. But Emeka said the conversation wasn't even brought to them. So that shows you it's for show. It's for people to see. If it was an important thing that
You're
meant
making it seem
something
like
to
it's
you,
something wrong for something. Of course it's for show.
No.
Of
I'm
course
not saying
it's for show. It's a gesture. That's what a gesture
But
is
the problem
for.
is, but then that shows where they view it. You see, you got to look at the motive behind it, Jamal.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
There's a
difference between holding the hands of someone because you love them, or holding the hands to everyone. Hey,
show everyone,
my new girl. I get
exactly.
that. But at the same time, a gesture is for show. I understand you more about what's the principle behind the gesture, but hold up a second. We're trying to make a change here. We know deep down there are senior members across everywhere, from associations to big companies, who don't really want to do this. Like, oh, can we avoid this? Oh, what are my investors going to think? What about our shareholders? Oh, what's my committee going to think? Right? So they don't really want to do it, but at the same time, it's like, wait a second. With the greatest respect, I think black people need a little bit more to me than ever. You know, oh, I support this team. You know, whenever Sterling scores, I jump up. So if he's upset about something, I should take it seriously. You know what? They want to kneel. Let's put some cameras on. You know,
Jamal,
let's put Black Lives Matter.
You see my next point, and the next thing I was going to say again with Emeka and yourself. We want change, and we're saying to people continue kneeling, and we want change, but we are not prepared to put ourselves in an uncomfortable position. So where you were in that situation when a man called you colored, as you said, you may do something different today, but you didn't. You made the distinction in saying, I didn't want to seem like an angry black man. But that's exactly what you should have been, because a man has called you colored. It's an insult. So the man has insulted you. If he'd have stood there and said, shut up, you, see you next Tuesday.
No, but you're contradicting yourself.
Let me finish. I'm not knocking you because you had to make a decision on the spot. But if he'd have said to you, if he'd have used an abusive word to you, you would have been fully within your rights to say, I beg you pardon, please don't speak to me like that. But because it was an issue of the word colored, you made the choice, and I'm not knocking you for it. Please don't think I'm knocking you. You made the choice to deal with it later. To me, that should have been dealt with at that moment. You should have feel empowered and comfortable to eradicate it there and then. Just like when Emeka said he doesn't feel comfortable being the only black man in the team to walk into the change room and say, hey guys, right, we're going to be kneeling now because this is important to me. That's where we need to be. We need to be prepared to put ourselves in that uncomfortable position to enforce change. That's where our people made changes for us to be sat here online, running our gums, talking about things like this. They put themselves in uncomfortable positions so that we could have it. And all we're doing here now is kneeling and saying, carry on, guys, keep kneeling, but we're not putting ourselves in an uncomfortable position. And that's the point I'm saying.
Good point. Ray.
Yeah, but Ray.
Remember, the most effective thing we've done so far is when they walked off the pitch.
Bang.
That's the most effective thing we've done because it hurt them. They had no control of it, and it hurt them financially. That's where our power is in football. Something happens, media, just walk off the pitch. It kills everything.
And that was
That's
pushed
your
by
power.
Neymar. That was pushed by Neymar, and that was pushed by Mbappe. And to me, them two players went so far up in my estimation because the moment they heard it, they were like, "Is that what he said? Let's go. We're going."
And Mbappe, remember what Mbappe said? Mbappe said, I'll back you. As far as it goes, I will back you. Yeah. That's what Mbappe said.
That's what needs to happen. That's what we need to start doing. We need to start empowering those players to say, if I hear anything like that, we're off. We're off. And it's going to take players like that.
Because these people hate to be hurt financially.
I think when you talk about like getting into those uncomfortable situations, Jamal's situation was what, 2014 or?
Well, Nana, you've frozen, but Nana,
frozen.
Please don't think I'm knocking him. I'm not
all I was
knocking Jamal.
Say the early 2000s.
Have to do what we.
No, I'm not saying you're. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying that we have become, all of us, I don't know about you guys, but we have become more aware of ourselves as black men, everybody on this panel, especially within the last, I'll say, 10 years, because of things that have happened in the media, in our lives, in the news, wherever. Now, some maybe 20 years down the line, I don't know. But I'm just saying that 20 years ago, if somebody called you colored, you probably take a moment to wait, what's going on? If like you said, if you use an abusive word, then you would jump up straight away. You see what I'm saying? Look at Rio Ferdinand's documentary. At that time, what did he do? We sat on this panel and said, well, it was big. Exactly.
He did nothing. And that
yes,
is a big embarrassment as far as I'm concerned.
True. But I'm saying we can sit here and say that. But around that time, in terms of the other documentary that we watched, around that time, it didn't even sink in that this is what was happening to him. But now, if this is happening with everything that's in the media, and you don't do that, then I can say you're a disgrace to the black community or the BM group. Now, if you don't do that, I'll easily say that. But I'm saying 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't as rampant as this. But the point I'm trying to make is people have done lots of things, including kneeling and whatnot, to bring awareness to this. So, like Emeka rightly said, if you are going to stop, or Jamal said, if you're going to stop, do something else. Bring a solution.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? Do something to say, yes, we are stopping, but go here, go there, make your voice heard because you are in a position to do that. But as soon as you stop and say, I'm tired, I give up, because Rashford has been done the same thing. A lot of professionals have been done the same thing. But if you stop,
but he never said.
He said, I'm tired, I give up.
Yeah, he said, I'm tired. And the thing is, you got to understand that it's easy for us to sit here and say he shouldn't be tired. But when you're opening your inbox every single day and you're getting slaughtered from racist people in your inbox, you are going to be tired.
There's no way he expected kneeling was going to stop that. There's no way he expected, I'm going to kneel, people are going to do it less to me now.
And I think if he did,
the expectation.
I think if he did think that, he'd be silly. But at the end of the day, you can't. The thing is, and Paul touched on this earlier when he said we start infighting. And I think this is what we're doing. Even sat here saying, is he wrong or is he right? We are almost now getting to a point where, and not tonight, but we're beginning to implode on ourselves because we're judging him for something we have no experience of. I don't know what it's like to be going on my Instagram and seeing people abusing me by the 10, 20 people a day, calling me a so-and-so because of the color of my skin. I don't know what that's like. I haven't walked in those shoes. So for me to judge him and say he's wrong, he shouldn't be tired, I don't think that's fair. I want him to be a figurehead. I want him to use his platform to influence change. And I agree with Jamal. I agree with people when they say he should come with, we want him to come with a solution. But we can't wrong him for feeling like I'm tired.
No, I support your notion. I support your notion. But if he carries something else, I will get back. I'll back him 100%. So it says, hey, we'll stand up, we'll lock arms, and run to the corner flag, whatever he did, I'll back him. Because if he's tired, I get it. I don't know what it's like in his shoes. It cannot be comfortable, no matter how much he gets paid. Because getting paid, how much he gets paid, $6 million a year, or whatever, isn't enough to get racially abused like that. But just come up with something, I'll back him.
Yes, Paul.
I've got one. Barry, you said earlier on that kneeling as a black man should find something different. As a strong black person, blah blah. I took offense at that because I know how old you are, and I have a lot of respect for you, Barry. I haven't known you long, but I can tell that even if it wasn't for football and I had met you, I would have probably got to become friends.
Yes,
but I found that a little bit strange. I know everyone's path is different, but I like to think that people of color, our paths are sort of in the same direction. When my parents came over, the things that my mum had to do work-wise, and I don't want to say on because but kneeling is nothing compared to, and I would like to think that most of our parents when they first came over, working worked as nurses and in care homes. What they had to do to people who didn't want them in the country, kneeling now is nothing. Nothing. I would kneel every single day if it meant that my little one would have a chance at a level playing field going on. I would kneel and I know deep down I'm a strong black man. Don't care any white man in his white van tomorrow sees me at the bus stop. Don't drive off if you want to say something. Stop your van. Come off. I am a strong, proud black man, and I will kneel every single day because that's nothing compared to what our parents did when they first come over. Nothing. And they were strong people. Strong.
Barry?
No, but Paul's taking it completely out of context because it's all about knowledge. My thing's more about knowledge and knowing who you are and what you will do. Yeah? It's about knowledge, Paul. I've read so much. I know my parents came here. My parents came here. My uncles came here. They had to fight to get where they are. They didn't kneel down. They fight skinheads. They fight tidy boys. They had to fight to make it how it is now. You look at our history in this country, the amount of battles we had to fight. They would be looking down and saying, "Why are you kneeling?" They didn't kneel. They made breakthroughs by not kneeling, by doing something affirmative action. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a different fight now, Barry. It's a different fight now. I don't think the kneeling takes away from being a strong.
You're talking about people saying they're aware of racism because of kneeling. Guys, go and buy some books and read about your history. Teach your children yourselves. We're relying on other people's agendas and strategies to move us forward. We've got to educate ourselves, our families, our children, who we are, and what we stood up for. In America, we have all of this already. Our own towns, our own buses, everything we had in America. Jamal can tell you, he knows about what happened in America, and we lost everything. They took it all away. So if we can't empower ourselves and be strong, it'll all be taken away again, and we're going backwards. That's my opinion. To me, that's why them are right. Every man has a right to what he wants to do.
Okay.
And shouldn't be judged on that. That's his right. He has a choice.
So, guys, we have 2 more minutes before we move on to the next topic, just to let you guys know.
I've got another quick idea. I mean, it's a more radical one, but let's take every player wants to play at the Euros, so they probably won't do it. But let's say people like Sterling, Rashford, Saka, Reece James, all the black English players, just look, if this doesn't stop, if the companies aren't going to do something about it, FA, Premier League, whoever it might be, we're not playing. It goes from England being one of the favourites for the tournament to going nowhere. And if they're really about it, they'll be like, you know what, we're not for it, we're not going unless things are going to change. So if you really want change, like Ray said, a bit of sacrifice, they'll do something, because at the end of the day, talk about all the money that will be lost if players like Sterling and Rashford don't go. Just the threat of, we're not going unless things change. I'm sure things would change, and we put ourselves in a better position to make even more changes after that.
Cool. And you see, and that's exactly it. Like, even if the players said okay, until I see change in regards to these social media, nothing, I won't do any social media work for the FA. I will not do any advertising for the FA. Now, can you imagine the power something like that would send to those companies? That I won't spearhead any of your campaigns. Can you imagine how quick you'd see how these companies find a way to now say, oh, okay, well, we can do this, and this. We can do that. We can put these changes in. I can make it so that Twitter has a 3-step security process to register. So you can't just register an account and have it as some dodgy name. You'd soon see how fast change is effective. And that's what I'm saying. Kneeling by itself, just for me, isn't enough. We've been doing it for a year now, and I'm waiting to see when the next stage comes. When's the next action?
Can I ask Jamal a quick question? Jamal, what is the Black Footballers Players Association? Do you know anything what their opinion is or what they say about this?
No. I think my personal opinion, I'm a bit
Now for the players, it's on.
I need a bit more understanding of what some of these organizations do on a weekly basis operationally, because I just don't really understand it.
Okay.
I'll kick it out, BPFA, whatever, or black-led or ethnically diverse-led organizations are there to tackle racism and diversity. I understand their goals, their objectives. It's just that I don't see enough of what they're doing. And maybe it's just me who doesn't see it. I don't know. But if I'm involved in this sort of organizations, I would be taking time out, whether it be social media, any other platform, to make it clear that there aren't people like me who don't understand what they do every week. You know?
Yeah, cool. And again, this is a very interesting topic. It's very educational. And I'm kind of really, really blessed and actually lucky to actually know people like the guys on the panel. And we will, make things happen. Yes, exactly what Paul said. It may be a slow burner, but as long as we're taking the right steps forward. I do believe everyone on this panel and actually everyone watching can actually make a change. So thank you.
So Reece,
Thank you.
before you move on, like you're talking about change, and sorry, my internet wasn't so good, so I didn't hear if it's been mentioned already. Ray mentioned, I'm not sure if it's Ray, but something about everybody doing something to affect this change. And I think all of us on the panel, we need to do something. So for me, for example, the first thing I did when I saw this thing from Zaha was because I follow him on Instagram. So I wrote a message to him, expressing my views and, what I thought of what he was doing, and not to stop it, do something else, like we've been saying here. So it's a powerful message in terms of all of us here doing something. It starts from us. It does start from us spreading the word and affecting that change. Because I think sometimes we wait for the celebrity or the big person, like that Chelsea guy was saying, that there's not much I can do in terms of affecting change. But it starts from you. If you send somebody a message, or if you do something, you never know who might pick it up. And it will go through the right channel in terms of somebody hearing and expanding and starting a trend or whatever it is. But it needs to start from here. It needs to start from us.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, well, Tabriz is going to stop us now, so I won't bother
We'll
responding.
be over. But Tabriz, the last thing for us to get anywhere, like we all must agree, we must have unity.
Mm-hmm.
We must be at one mindset. If our mindset is not the same, forget it. That's the way we always fall down. When we don't stick together, and we're all going with the same mindset. I'm sorry if I offended anyone today, but that was just my opinion. And everybody
Obviously, Barry, nobody's offended.
Okay, just
That's
say
what it is. That's the uncomfortable conversations we have
we
to have.
must be together. We must be able to voice our opinions, but we must have one mindset and channel it that way. Go on, Ray. Sorry.
No. Those are the uncomfortable conversations we have to have. And I just think we have to be prepared to put our anyway, do it. Go on.
No, Ray, please.
No,
please,
what I was gonna say is we have to be, because that tonight, of all the bits that have come out of tonight, what has come out for me is the fact that we are still in a position sometimes where we second guess what our actions should be and how our actions are going to be perceived when we're faced with racist comments, racist behavior, racist actions. And I think the first thing we all have to do in ourselves is be prepared to put yourself in that uncomfortable position. And if something comes at you, then we have to be prepared to say, no more, not on my watch. And we as a group should back you and support you and say, not on our watch. And that's what, to me, the biggest thing that comes out. I mean, not bigging him up anymore, but people like, when I was young, people like Barry, people like my brothers and sisters, they constantly drilled into my head. Always speak your mind, always be honest, and always, if something comes at you that you don't like, be prepared to challenge it. You don't have to shout, scream, swear, carry on, but once you can articulate yourself and respond in a way that is proper for that situation, don't wait. It's always more powerful if it's done there and then. And I'm not knocking anybody who makes a different choice, but for me, that word color or any kind of bit that comes in, I'm always hot and ready to fight back. And we just have to do that as a group and back each other. Too many times I've seen people get hung out to dry when they've tried to take a stand, and their own people, us, we look the other way and say, well, that wasn't me today. Oh, good, that wasn't me. That's got to change. That's got to stop. If you say something to him, then that's me as well. So you know what? I'm involved. I'm buying into that argument. And that's what we have to start doing. And only then will we make change.
Cool. So for that next topic, we are now talking referee and player football debates. And you know what, Emeka, it's actually good that you're here. You know, you are a player, so you know this is going to be really interesting. So to all of the viewers, we have like all compilated about 15-16 videos which I'll be showing, and you know, I'd literally love to get everyone's opinion on the panel regarding the referee's decision, the players' decision, people on the sideline. And again, this is, you know, just a kind of open forum. There's no right or wrong answer.
Open to everyone except for Quicksand. I see Quicksand moving across the screen. I see him like this. Getting ready. Lean back down. I see Quicksand getting ready.
You know what? I'm just waiting for your pearls of wisdom in here today. Now,
dear.
You know what? I'm putting my charger in now, Jamal. I know what
ready. When Fabrice mentioned Emeka's name, Emeka just said, "Cool." Relax. But you're getting ready. Why are you getting ready for?
Oh dear me. Oh gosh. Actually, before I move on, there was literally like a few comments before. I think this was to like Ray. Ray should be working at City Hall. Hey, and
he does work at City Hall.
I know. And then everyone, Chelsea, great discussion, guys. So honestly, like I thank everyone on the panel as well. You know, it's a discussion that we'll be having more of. So thank you. And also Heckburn has just said, what? So Nana isn't a player? No, you see, Nana in like this debate will have to look at it from a referee's standpoint. You know, it's only Big Sam, you know, that's them there. So you know,
we just don't want to leave Jamal on his own. That's all.
Okay. He needs help.
All right.
No,
okay.
That's what I said.
All right. So
I don't want you know, ganging up on him.
Okay. So this format. So I'm gonna play the like video. We will like talk about it for about 3-4 minutes. I will play the video again, and then literally we'll kind of round it up, and then we'll move to the next one. All righty, let's go. So the first video. All right. So that was from Caldecott Arms FC. And you know what? Let's go straight to Emeka. Emeka, as a player, if like you was on the receiving end of a tackle like that, how would you respond?
I don't know, I'll shake the guy's hand and say, I like tackles. I think that's the way football should be. And, you know, if you're good enough to tackle me like that, I'll pat you on the back and say, well done. Next time you won't get me, but well done. Well done for that.
Wow. Okay. And actually, question to like Paul. The person on the sideline literally almost kind of influenced the referee to actually book him. Is that good sportsmanship? Is that something that you would do if like someone from independent was kind of receiving rough treatment?
Hell yeah.
Well, you see, our sidelines, me and Ray's, is a dangerous place to be for an opposition.
Yeah.
So it's probably not the place. I'm not the person to talk to. I'm probably not the person to do it. It's a dangerous place for an opposition.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Well, Jamal and like Nana. Was it a booking? If it was a yellow card, right? And if like someone from like kind of sideline said like something to you like that, how would you guys respond?
Right. Okay. Well, I would say that was an incident of good refereeing. I think the yellow card is a decent decision. It was a straight leg challenge with studs showing. So the issue is the players won the ball, right? But the issue is not every player would have that skill ability to win the ball. And then if he didn't win the ball, straight leg and stud showing, most refs will instantly be thinking red. They may not give a red, but they'll be thinking red. When those situations happen and I'm refereeing, what I do is with a very strong whistle, I would then have a very strong warning, verbal warning with that player saying, yes, you won the ball, but it's how you won the ball I have an issue with. Just for more of match control. If you let a challenge like that go and other people make similar challenges and they make the challenge exactly the same way and win the ball, then the game is fine. The game will be fine. It'll be tightly contested. You'll be completely fine. But once one player mistimes a tackle like that, you have a very big issue, and that's the reason why that would be preventative refereeing. I see Emeka's reaction, and that's fair because that tackle is a fair enough tackle because the feet are low, eyes on the ball, he's won the ball, right? The issue is if he didn't win the ball, you have a pretty big issue, and that's the reason why you should stop playing.
I have a quick question though. Why are you saying if? That's the only thing I don't like about referees. Yeah, I did win the ball. It's not. Why are you saying if? Give me a yellow card if I don't win the ball and I got the ball. And this whole straight leg thing. How do you slide tackle without a straight leg? Of course, I'm going in straight leg. That's how I slide.
No. I've never met any coach who teaches someone to tackle with a straight leg. If it's a straight leg, that means the player's on the wrong side of you, so you shouldn't be tackling. And why is that player? Look at where. Take the refereeing IQ out of it. Talking about a football IQ now. Why is a player even making a challenge like that in that position of the play? So I don't understand why that's being made.
No, that's a weird question. That's a really weird question. Like, you get games where there is tackles flying in. And as Emeka said, to me, yeah, there is going to be times where the tackling will get spicy. I do get what you're saying, Jamal. And I do think, yeah, the referee does need to, because it can escalate quickly. So that gets let go. Then some idiot decides to take it up a notch and come in a little bit higher. So yeah, I do get where you're going with that. But yeah, that unfortunately is football has changed in the sense of 10, 20 years ago, tackles like that, you don't bat an eyelid. You just get on with it. The man puts that tackle in on you, you just, in your mind, the next time I catch you, you're getting the same one back from me and we play on. So
you know what? I feel like those sort of tackles in a previous generation, like a yellow card and a free kick there would actually be bad refereeing because it was a different setting. If a tackle went in bad, it's like, oh mate, you caught me. What have you done that for? Oh, sorry, mate. And that's that. Whereas now there seems to be a bit more of an edge. And I'm gonna catch you after the game, and there's a bit more of that extra sort of threat of violence. Whereas the ref has to take some sort of control. And if it's giving a tackle like that was once a fair challenge, now giving them that player a free kick and a strong warning or a yellow card, and that potentially stops all of the extra potential violence at the end. And that's what you need to. That's what needs to be done.
Yeah. But it's the game of football, though. I don't understand all this preventing stuff after the game. Take the game of football for the 90 minutes you're refereeing. You're not sorting out things that happen at the pub afterwards. We're here to play a game of football.
If it's in a pub, cool. But if it's on the side of the pitch and all that, and you're having a Bournemouth Watford situation, no, that is what happens. The referee doesn't take enough preventative action, because you have to remember, whoever you think the best for you personally, Emeka, or anyone else, whoever you think the best referee has ever refereed you, there's no threat of violence after the game or even during the game. That referee spots that very quickly, cuts it out very quickly, and you finish the game and you don't even remember who the ref was, And if I get a kick there, it potentially all goes away. If I don't, I run the risk of it escalating.
Cool.
You're
All
also
right.
just ruining the game because you now caution the player. He's now can't tackle for the rest of the game, and you kind of like shackled him for a fair tackle.
No. I didn't shackle anyone. You decided to make that tackle. I didn't shackle anyone. You cautioned yourself there. I haven't. If you stayed on your feet there, we don't have an issue. If you tackle with your laces there, we don't have an issue. You're tackling with your studs. Studs were not designed to be tackled for. They're designed to give you better traction when you're running and changing direction. So why are you using your studs to tackle?
Yeah. All right.
Can I add that?
Yeah, actually, Nana. You know what? Let me move on to the next video. We have about 15 videos. So next video is for Coach Barry and also for Nana. And again, this is from Caldecott Arms FC. I believe it's the same game.
Take him out! Yeah! One in! It's a yellow card, ref. Yellow card.
Wow. Okay.
I hope I can move like that when I'm that age. I love that.
Coach. I mean, what would you say if that was one of your youngsters being tackled like that?
No, he wouldn't have got caught. No, seriously, it's a dangerous tackle. It's a very dangerous tackle. I would have been very upset. But Jamal, the first tackle, I thought that was a good tackle. The first video you showed.
And I don't have any issue with anyone who thinks that's a fair tackle or a fair enough tackle. I see it. It's just more about training referees on what happens when that same exact tackle is made and the ball isn't gone.
Nano,
okay.
What would have been your thought process as a referee in the last tackle?
Same as the referee did, to be honest. It's a clumsy tackle, a bit reckless. He's clearly trying to stop him from going. Save the covering defender over there. That would have been a red card. Save the covering, but let's go back to quickly, just maybe a minute, to the previous tackle. Maybe I'm the only one, but yes, he's won the ball, but I don't think anybody's seen that he's also caught the man. Let's not forget that.
Okay,
so there's a topic about if he's won the ball, but he's also caught the man, and our job as a referee is to protect the players on the pitch. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
no. Before you go on, Nana, how many times? I mean, you see, I have an issue with that. When you're tackling someone, a lot of the time you do catch the man. It happens. You don't tackle and make no contact with him. The problem is it dangerous what you did? Is it malicious? And those are the bits that you're looking at. To me, if you catch him, then you're it's gonna happen sometimes.
But
now
yes, but what you're saying,
that tackle that Tabriz has just played, that to me is far worse. And I'd be getting up looking to punch him. I'm not joking. I'd be getting up looking to punch him. That's liberty. He's done.
Okay, no.
That's a joke.
The thing is, look at what he's done. He's actually kicked proper. That guy. That's not clumsy. The guy's intentionally said, "You know what? I've had enough of this." I just kicked him out from under him. And the other guy has put in a fair attempt.
Play it again, Tabriz.
Okay, I'm gonna play again.
Take him out! One in!
Yeah, you have to understand Ray's point here. It's a valid point.
Yeah, but we see this every day. Like,
don't say
listen.
That's liberty.
No.
I see one of our guys getting out. I want to hit one of them. That's liberties.
Listen,
that's liberties.
That tackle, every defender, every midfielder tracking would probably try and do the same thing. Now, if he really wants to hit him, he'll go right through him.
He couldn't catch him.
And Ray, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to stop him from getting into the box and getting a penalty. And he can see that. Hang on, Ray.
What he's done is liberties to me.
That kick, for lack of a better word, is controlled.
Controlled.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no,
It's
it is.
controlled.
It is.
He's in control of his body. He hasn't gone start showing flying where he's come at a decent speed. He knows exactly what he's doing.
See,
It's
this
what
is
you
the
call a
problem.
professional
This
foul.
is the problem between referees and
No. Ray. Before you go there, because I don't think we need to go there yet, even though we probably will. What would you like the outcome to be? Because you disagreeing with Nana is pointless if you both agree it's a yellow card.
No.
Because
For
that
me,
means
for me personally, I would have no issue seeing him get a straight red for that. No issue whatsoever. Because as far as I'm concerned, right there and then, that guy there is, you see, I've got no problem with a face-to-face sliding challenge, bang. Yeah, some of them might be bad, and you're booking him. But what that guy's done, you know the damage you can do kicking someone out, their legs out from under them like
Come
that.
on, man.
If you're running at pace. The thing is,
Come
Nana,
on, man.
the thing is, Nana, you, me, and others, we're not running at that pace anymore. But if you're running quick and you get someone kick you like that, you know the damage you can do.
it can cause very serious damage.
Exactly.
And I think everything Chelsea just asked a very important question in regards to either players or people from the sideline asking for a yellow card or ref us a booking. How many more? So I usually nip that very early because I actually don't like that. Main reason for me is I need the players and the parents, the staff, the spectators to understand that when I'm giving a yellow card, that is my decision. I don't want them to think, oh, you only give it because he's shot for it. So whenever someone does that, I instantly go to them. Whether it depends on who I'm speaking to. I would say, stop grossing, stop snitching. Listen, I can talk myself. Why are you trying to get asking for a booking to booking? And that always stops immediately because I need everyone to understand it's my decision-making process. I'm not going to give a yellow card because you keep asking for it. So to answer everything Chelsea's question, the second I first hear it very loudly, I'll deal with it immediately.
Okay,
Jamal,
cool.
if you come on Saturday and you see us, turn around and get back in your car and drive home. Okay?
Say again?
If you ever get our game, get back in your car and drive out. We'll do a ref. We'll do the ref. Don't worry about that. We'll do a ref.
What are you talking about, Paul? Like,
Because I just cannot believe
Jabri.
what you've just
Okay,
said.
you know what?
listen,
we'll
you guys,
do it. Don't worry.
listen. I play for Independent, and the managers, Paul, Ray, you guys always talk about the shitty refs that we get week in, week out.
Yeah.
You always talk
you
about
right.
it.
Make that right.
Now you
Make
got
it
a
right.
good ref sitting over there, like a
Well,
fantastic ref sitting over
some
there.
of the things
And
Jamal says, I'm not sure. You know what? Jamal may be an excellent ref, but some of the things he comes out with, it makes me uncomfortable and it makes me worried.
You
But
said we
you know
need
what
to
it
have
is? You know what it is?
uncomfortable
Jamal, hold on,
conversations.
hang on.
You
You
just
know
said
what
we
it
need
is?
to have uncomfortable conversations.
100%, and
I
that's
think
why there's still a
I
little
think what
bit
it
of
is
chance for you to
the
prove to me that you're a
training, the
good
training
ref.
of a referee. Let them see the game slightly different as opposed to a player or a manager. That's why sometimes you have this, different views, which is normal. But we see a tackle. When I use the word control, for example, someone is saying, "What the hell is he talking about?" But when I talk about control, he's in control of his body. He's gone there. He's kicked him. Yes, I know that. The intent is there. You can clearly see what he's trying to do. But the difference between that and somebody's running full pace, sliding, stuck high, he cannot stop himself.
But he wasn't stuck. He wasn't.
I'm just giving you an
mad high.
example. No, I'm not referring to tackle before.
But the thing is,
But
Nana,
if someone's going stuck high and he's coming to your knee, he cannot stop himself.
100%.
And that's the
If
difference
you're coming
between
to your knee,
control.
that's
You know what I'm
different.
saying?
But the thing is, Nana, and the thing what I would challenge you on, as a player, to me, the biggest thing when I step on a football pitch, I want to beat my opponent. I want to dominate my opponent if possible. I want my team to win. But there's a mutual respect and there should be a line that you don't go over. There should be, I'm not going out to hurt you. So I'm not coming at your knees. I'm not coming. The only time that spills over is when somebody doesn't show that same respect to me. And that's when now, and if the referee's not dealing with it, that's when you start taking the law into your own hands because the referee's not doing anything. So I'll be damned if I'm going to come off this pitch injured before me doing something to you. But in a normal circumstances, I go onto that pitch to play the game and I want to play strong, firm football. So if the man comes in and puts a tackle a sliding tackle like that at me, that to me is a man trying to win that ball. It's a firm, hard tackle. And as Emeka said, you get up and you dust yourself down. You say, you know what? That was a good one, mate. I want to put one straight back on you and get you to say the same thing straight back to me. But what that guy did behind, that's the most nasty, sneaky. That's not respectful.
No, you have to understand where Ray. Ray.
No, I
you
do
have
understand.
to understand where Ray's coming
Okay,
from.
we know.
That's
Okay.
a disrespect. I do
coach.
professional fouls. You just grab the man's shirt and hold him and say, you know what, mate, you're too quick for me today. But to kick his legs out from under him while he's running at full power, that's bang
Ray,
out.
can I ask a quick question?
Go on, B.
Which I think everybody should know. What levels are the two referees? I don't know their level. What level is Jamal and Nana?
We don't know.
Oh, really, Paul? Really? I'm a level 5.
Whoa,
Jamal
level 5. Just ask him, Jamal.
So I'm a level 5.
Yeah.
Jamal is level 3. So I could do, say, Crystal Palace, West Ham, and 16.
Oh, okay.
Jamal would do the senior level. Jamal is at level 3. Would do a lot higher than that. So he can do, say, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, and the 18 and the 21. So if he's in the middle for that game, I'll be on the line.
Okay.
So you'll be the snitch.
Sorry?
See,
You'll
all
be
I'm,
the
all
snitch.
I'm,
You'll be Jamal.
Jamal's level 3.
Jamal will do that, like the FA Cup games and you know, and all that.
Cool.
All I'm
Jamal,
looking for, all I'm looking for on a Saturday is a ref that hopefully has played the game and understand what players do in certain situations. The second clip you showed, a ref who knows football would understand that that player should get a ref simple. Because if my learned friend, what's his name? I can't remember your name now. Sorry. What's the one next to Nana? Sorry.
Emeka.
Sorry, Emeka. If Emeka's gone through Saturday football, he's gone through, and I know I'm not going to catch him. I'm not going to do that because that's in my head that I want to hurt him. You know what I mean? You let him go, you let him through, and hopefully your goalkeeper saves it, or your centre.
No. I don't
Okay,
agree with that.
wait, guys, hold on. You know what? We have a lot of clips.
Ray, you're doing that. I'm doing that.
Hold on, guys. You know what? We have a lot of clips, and like we've only got to clip 2. So let me kind of move on. But again, trust me, there's some like tasty clips. So let's kind of go on to the third clip.
Go shot! His hand was down! Yeah! Go shot! No! Are you kidding me? What the heck? Are you kidding me? Buddy, the guy. Or sweep the seats, what he says. You can see that they kicked each other and fell. That's so happy.
All right. So
Fabrice, I thought you'd have come with some harder clips here.
you know what? I've got 15 clips, so let you know.
I'm hoping they're harder than that.
Okay,
Let's
so
hear the referee's point of view.
yeah, Jamal, Nana.
Right. Let me start. That was shit refereeing.
Was it?
That was shit refereeing.
So firstly, Nana, before you go into your rant, before you go into your explanation,
hang on.
Can you look at the 2 incidents and tell us whether they were penalties or not?
The handball, I don't know. Tobias, when was this clip recorded?
Why are you asking?
Actually, don't answer that. It doesn't matter the era. That's no chance in hell that's a pen.
Okay.
there's no chance in hell that's a pen. Now he give a pen, and the reason I'm saying that shit refereeing is his position. He should see. He's right there. The ball has hit his hand. His hand is tapped by his side. There's no way he's going to give that a pen. Now you give the pen, and again your positioning. That should be a retake, because you can see two blue players, like 2 or 3 steps in the box before he kicks the ball. The ensuing decision again, that's a pen. So that is a good decision. I don't know what he's talking in a corner with him with his line of 4.
He was in a bad position again, so he had to clarify with his active as to what he saw.
That's a pen. The player trying to turn, he's gone through him at the back of his leg or of his.
And the active assistant flagged incorrectly, so he had to double check if it was going to be a defensive free kick or a penalty.
Yeah. That's a shit show right there.
Yeah, first penalty decision is a credible decision, meaning he would have to. If I was observing him, he would have to explain to me why he's given a penalty for that. The only reason that I would accept why he's given that is because the ball was traveling towards goal. Because the player's arm was down, that's clear ball to hand. That isn't a handball offense. The second penalty offense is a correct decision. I don't want to hear anyone saying about diving. Diving simulation aren't in that. That isn't a dive, there's contact. Simulation is when an attacker makes the most of contact or exaggerates contact. But whenever a defender goes down, as well as an attacker, then the defender can never say he didn't make contact. So he hasn't made no touch of the ball. So the second decision is a great one.
Yo,
that's brilliant.
I second that.
That is brilliant. That's brilliant, Mecca. That's brilliant. Okay. All right. So literally, I was gonna say that the first one debatable penalty, but the second phase of play.
I don't think it's debatable. It's a disgrace. The guys tore it at him. There was nowhere he could put his hand. What he's going to put his hand in his pockets? Like, it's madness. Like, that to me is never a penalty. The second one, all day long, is Stonewall. That's why I said this one was an easy one. Okay. I couldn't have messed this one up. Easy business. Easy business.
All right.
That's
okay.
Nana was like, I'll go first. I got this.
Oh, boy.
Cool. All right. Okay. So let's go to the next clip. All right.
Play that again, please.
Okay, shall I play again? Okay. Coach Barry, what's your initial thoughts?
Play on. I don't really see anything wrong with it.
Really?
That's handbags.
Handbags. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Handbags.
Come on, handbags or whatever. I don't see nothing. But ask the ref. Let's see what they're going to do with that.
No, I actually, before I ask the ref, I see Emeka shaking his head. Emeka, what's your thought about that clip?
For me, minimum yellow card. For me, that's my opinion. Minimum yellow.
Yellow card.
Say again.
Yellow card.
Yeah, I thought anyway that the rule is that if you raise your hand to an opponent, it's meant to be a straight red. I understand he didn't make contact, but for me, if that was me as a defender and he swung and he did hit me, it's beef at that point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The ball's gone. The ball's gone. It was long gone. Like the motion is kind of like a second motion. He was done trying to hold the guy off. He was actually trying to hit him at that point. He missed. It was just his fault that he missed. His intention was to hit the guy in the face.
So, no, Emeka,
you can't argue with that. No, you can't argue against that. You cannot argue against that. Emeka has articulated that well, and there's no way you can see it different. Your sanction for it might be different than what Emeka wants, but there's no way you saw it any different than that. It's impossible you saw it.
No, I actually saw it different. That's why I said handbag. There's nothing there. If
you can't say there's nothing there.
Hang on. Listen. Now you can see the player closest to the touchline grabbing him, trying to grab him at least. He feels the grab. He doesn't look at the player over there. He just flings his hands out. Now, for me, if he's looking at the player and flings his hands out, then I know he's intending to cause him harm. He's intending to hit him. That's what I've seen. So unless there's VR involved in that case, there's nothing happening. What is expected? Who is going to see that? It's only what the camera seeing it. That's what we're talking about it. That's what I'm saying. Handbags. There's nothing there. Nothing there.
Okay.
Simple as.
Okay. All right. You know, let's kind of swiftly move on. And this one is for like Paul. Before I play this is from one of the panelists last week, Alec, who's the captain of Wimbledon Town.
Don't be a fucking cheat.
Okay, so I'm not going to put words in kind of Alec's mouth, but I think he was probably talking to the ref when he was possibly calling him a cheat, or at least looking in the ref's direction. I mean, Paul, I mean, what like would you do if like a player from Independent called like a referee a cheat, because like they missed the throw-in?
Well, no, let's turn that around and use that Wimbledon as the opposition against Independent. If he said that in a game against us, and I'm on the line, I want a yellow for him. Simple. I want a yellow for him.
Okay.
And if he does, if he gets a yellow, I'm on him for the whole rest of the game, getting in his head. So he's gonna get a red card. Sooner or later, he's gonna get a red card.
Definitely.
So that's football. Independent vets, they'll be playing with 10 men sooner or later. He's got to get a yellow for that. That's disrespectful.
I'd be all in.
To the ref.
All in.
Yeah. And then
Ref, come on, ref. You got to do something about that. You got to get control of this. You can't let him do that.
So, Paul, are you saying the yellow card for dissent, i.e., we all know dissent right now is 10 minutes as in a sin bin?
The thing is, Nana, all right, whatever we're doing at the moment, but as far as I'm concerned, and we've all done it, we believe that referees are cheating when they're refereeing us, but you can't verbalize it. You can't defend a player. Like, even if one of my players said, "Oh, ref, don't be a cheat," or "Ref, you're cheating," I would actually tell him to stop the noise. Don't say that. Because if the referee books him for that, he's entirely within his rights. The referee may choose not to, but you've just put yourself in a position where the referee can say, "I'm not having that. Here's a yellow." You can't say it. That's the rules. You can't. You might feel it, but you can't say it. And as Paul rightly said, if I'm standing on the sideline and I hear him shout that out, I am on that ref immediately. Are you going to let him talk to you like that? Is that what you're going to allow? This is where we are now today.
Well, can I play the devil's advocate here and say that, like, in refereeing, and hopefully Jamal will back me on that, there are some words that when you use to the referee, it's actually not a yellow card, it's a red card. The C words, cheat, and the other one, we all know the other one.
Yeah.
What, the see you next Tuesday?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's just make that.
Hang on.
Okay.
That's a very, very, very outdated view by old referees from a white background, because they always say, "Oh, the worst thing I can ever tell you is the two words, cheat and count." Well, no, I'm black. There are three words that are much worse than those two words. So, and then same thing if I have a Pakistani ref, if I have an Arabic ref, so that's an outdated view, but it is supposed to be those two words. But from my background, I know what it's like to feel cheated by a ref. Doesn't mean the referee is cheat. It just means they don't have the experience, the fitness, the skill to officiate this game properly, to the point where it feels like I'm being cheated. I'm not saying you're trying to cheat for for financial gain. I just think you're refereeing so poorly. I feel cheated. So
they're giving decisions that they want to do this week, and next week they'll do other ones.
Well, yeah.
For me, in that situation, I will call the player side because, like, as a referee, it's not everything that you're gonna see. You're gonna give what you see. If you missed it, you missed it. But I'm gonna call the player side, call the captain in, and speak to them. That I'm not tolerating that sort of language. I've seen what I've given. I've given what I've seen, basically, and that's the end of it. But I'm not.
I'm not. Before you get into this, hold on.
But do you have a conversation at the beginning of the game?
Well, this is what I was just about to get into, because that long speech you give us, Nana, before the game.
I don't understand that.
And this time,
Nana, you give speeches before the game.
I do.
Before the game.
Why? Why you acting like you don't know?
What do you do that for? Oh my
statement. And
Why do you do that?
The worst thing is, Jamal,
it works.
He gives the exact same speech, even if he's refereed you more than once.
Oh,
yeah,
it works.
And what's the line, Nana? Everybody has an opinion. I don't care.
It works.
When you have academy games, do you take the same approach for academy games?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So it's just us mugging off. So this is another one of your I do
no.
Saturdays and don't do for them. You're mugging us off.
No. People coming, putting a team together to come and play on a Saturday or Sunday is different from established academy professional side. They know what it.
He said established.
Yeah, we're just out here having.
You know what, Nana? You know what? Stop digging. Nana, stop, please.
You know what? Nana,
hang on.
No.
No.
If you referee us again,
Jamal, don't make a fool of
us for that speech because
you're trying to tell me.
Attending.
Wait, you're trying to tell me Crystal Palace is not established. Charlton is not established.
You know what, Nana?
West Ham is not established. What are you talking about?
All right.
So is independent established?
Seriously
what?
Seriously
what? At the end of the day, Nana, like
independent
players who
FC,
have played
so
at decent levels, so they've been established. They've been part of established teams. You choosing to mug us off and give us your 2-minute speech before the game, and you're not doing it for it. I thought you were doing it to everybody. I didn't know you were picking and choosing who got the speech. You'll never get that speech again while I'm
for me. It always works for me.
All right.
When I read these, that game, for example, was in the Western League. The game prior to this. When I read these teams, I always speak to them before the game. So I set my stall from the beginning of the game so they know what to expect. Because, and it's always worked for me. There's only one time it hadn't worked for me, and it was a first and second where they just wanted to kick the shit out of each other. It's that simple. But if I tell you that I'm not tolerating any nonsense, then I mean I'm not tolerating any nonsense. So when you say the nonsense, and I caution you, then you have yourself to blame. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, all right.
Because
you know,
the problem is we have a lot of inconsistent referees, which you and Paul know, and I've been saying week in, week out. Oh, this referee shit, this referee shit. You've been saying we have a lot of inconsistent referees. So when I come, I want the same standard every single week.
I actually think
when I come and I tell you this is how I want it to go.
It out and he goes, "Yes, guys," and he reads it out and
really. This is what I say.
Okay, all right. Okay, you know what?
Stay on your feet if you cannot. Stay on your feet at all times. If you cannot, try not to injure yourself or the player. Everybody has an opinion. I hear that. I want you to hear it.
Don't need the mute.
Nana, hold on. You know, I literally have a question for Jamal. Everything Chelsea. Jamal, how do you deal with players who use abusive language towards you?
Manage it.
I have to be honest. I one of the things that scared everyone taking the referee course first is how much abuse you're going to get. Dissent. I was thinking men with my face and how am I going to deal with that. Overall, my career, I've had to deal with it very, very few times. Actual abuse in my face, but I do deal with it early, and I do try to sort of stamp it out in my own way. So, for instance, if a player had ever called me a cheat, and that's similar to how we saw in that previous clip, I would have been like, "Excuse me, you want to repeat that?" And if they didn't repeat it, I'll be like, "Okay, that's what I thought," and then keep going. I think there's so many ways to deal with it before you have to use a yellow or red card. But I definitely react to it on each occasion to stop it.
Cool. And I just want to say, I don't know if Alec was actually saying cheat to the referee, but it was in like the same direction or like the same area.
That's what
So
you said.
hey,
You said he was saying it to the referee. So
I mean, hey,
I'm gonna ask him. You did say that.
I was
scared
filming,
now.
so hey. Anyway, let's kind of move on. Let's go to the next clip. Oh!
So you showing one of my games, yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm not refereeing, but yeah.
Was I on the line for this one?
Yeah. That's the first on the cup game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me kind of play it again. Oh! All right, yeah. So literally, that was a Sporting Continental Mus Hill final. But yeah, Jamal and Nana were present, and yeah, Nana, you was actually running the line. So Ray, do you think the player that literally collided with the goalkeeper deserved the booking? Well, we can't hear you.
So yeah, definitely a booking. I think the camera angle's too far because what I would want to see is where he was looking. Because if he's looking at the ball, then it's a booking. But if he's looking at the goalkeeper, to me that's a straight red. Leave the pitch because it's dangerous. So I would like to see, if I was closer, I would like to see where he was actually looking, and that would dictate whether it's red or yellow. It's definitely a yellow, but I would be mindful of what he's looking at. Because he could be just eyes on the ball, fixed on it. Keepers appeared from nowhere. And yeah, it's dangerous, so you book him. But if he's looking at the goalie and focusing on him, he's trying to take him out. So, red.
Emeka?
I don't know. Like yellow card maximum. First of all, what a ball. I think you just have to just say hats off to the delivery. Like for me, like if you're coaching someone, that's the area of uncertainty. It's one of those, if the keeper wants to come and get it, you're going to get hurt. That's the whole point of putting the ball in that area. So I think the player, you just attack the ball wrong. If you go to it, like, if you attack it a bit better, it's just a great ball. So yeah, probably a yellow card for being a bit reckless, but I think the ball just put both players in that situation where someone's going to get hurt.
Nana, I believe you was probably closer to the person that actually took the free kick. What did you think about the whole game in general and also that phase of play?
It was a beautiful game of football. It was a worthy cup final. You know, in terms of the tackle, the challenge, it was one of them where you go, you know, because that collision, you know, it doesn't happen every game, especially the player and the keeper. And it's almost impossible without cameras to see whether there was intent there, i.e., to look at the goalkeeper or not. You know, so the safest way to go about it is, I think the referee was bang on, call for attention for the physio to come on the pitch and ask the offender to stay put to deal with him later. So a caution, in my opinion, was, you know, spot on. He handled it pretty well.
And Jamal?
Well, yeah, a little bit of context. The first yellow card of the match was actually given for that free kick. So that free kick was as a result of a yellow card challenge. And then that happened straight afterwards. But yeah, I think it's one of those ones that have sort of red card impact, but sort of just a standard free kick sort of intent. So the best sort of 50-50 management is usually a yellow card there. I think from what I remember, the players were very unhappy with the yellow card. They felt it was very harsh. But the reality is, you know, if the ref didn't give a yellow card there, we would have had a very uncomfortable evening. So the referee was in a difficult position, but it was very well handled in the end. One thing I hate about football in general is if I look at some of the worst tackles in Premier League history, for instance, the player usually ends up getting up right away. and yet I've seen Shaka Hislop break his leg taking a goal kick. I've seen Theo Walcott tear his ACL just running by himself. And yet when we see these horrible challenges, the player usually ends up being okay. And as bad as that looked, that keeper played the rest of the game, you know? So it's just one of those things.
Okay. And Paul, what's your opinion?
Same as everybody else's.
Okay, cool. Straight up. All right. So let's move on to the next clip.
Head out! Pressure for us, come on!
Coach? No? You stay around here. Coach, I'm asking you. No, you walk away. Stay inside. I am inside. I'm coming Enough. Thank you for that. Okay, can you stay inside? You're the sub-keeper, please. You're the sub-keeper? Yes. Stay inside. Sit down, please. Sit down. I should stay here, huh? Hey. What was that for? What was that for? I should sit down.
Hey, something got to be
It's a shame yourself. Sorry.
This is a half-decent game for you.
Wow. Okay. So just like a bit of context, the referee sent off 7 players. 7 players. So
that isn't refereeing. Just to make it clear to everyone, that isn't referee. That's not refereeing. No one is trained to do that. And when we're in a situation now where referee assaults are very rare, but they definitely exist. They definitely happen. And if that referee got assaulted, I just wouldn't have been surprised if someone just sucker punched him or pushed him or whatever, because you have to be careful. There was so much discipline being shown. There's so much discipline being shown by the players for no one to even call him a cheat. Imagine, no one even or clearly called him a cheat or did anything aggressive to him. I know that was probably Australia or somewhere. Man, if that was some other places, boy,
Croatia.
No, it's like Adelaide, and I know Australia has a pretty big Croatian population, so I assume this Australia. They kind of sound like they had Aussie accents anyway. But either way, if that was even certain places here, but definitely other countries, definitely fear for that referee's safety. Seriously, you have to be careful. You cannot go around doing what you want to do as a referee. It doesn't work that way. You have to be careful.
Actually, Ray, Coach Barry, and actually Paul. Would like you guys have pulled off your players if if like certain things were kind of going out of control,
And
especially
long time. I'd have pulled him off long time. Once he started behaving like that, I'd be like, everybody leave the pitch. As Heckburn said, he could try that at Brixton's Summer League. He wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it a meter from where he was standing. Someone would have done him something. At the end of the day, the man was on a power trip. He was just on a power trip, and the only way you can deal with something like that is everyone leave the pitch. We leave the pitch, and whatever happens, happens. But you can't play a game under that, with that kind of referee, that environment. He'd lost all control, and he was just looking now to make a statement. And I would have pulled the team off.
Okay. Coach Barry, Paul?
Well, with me, the same. I would have just pulled my team off. The referee's lost control, and he's just, like Raymond said, he's on a power trip. I don't know why he just didn't abandon the game if he think he was so bad. What's the point of booking 6-7 players? Just abandon the game. It's just, to me, that was just nonsense. He should just go on.
Okay. Cool. All right.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And the worst thing is, sorry to cut you down, is if because what the FA is telling us now is we've got to pay the referee before the game. You don't know how much it would burn me that he's actually already got the money.
I never take my payment before the game. Whenever I'm doing grassroots games, I always take it afterwards, because whenever you go up and ask for money beforehand, it kind of sends a little bit. It can send a little bit of a salty message. Like, oh, okay, I'm a piece now, please, Carl. Boy, I got another game. I would just say that, bro, that's a lack of confidence. You don't think you're gonna referee this game well, so you want your money now. You can duck at the end of the game.
Jamal.
I do.
No, I'm sorry. You know what?
Well, we're not
what?
That's the first time I've had to agree with you for a while now.
I tell people say all the time, "Oh, what got you to refereeing? Why'd you promote it to make that? What's got you to this level?" And I say, "Oh, is it fitness? Is it speed? Is it communication?" I say, honestly, just understanding what people take seriously, understanding what it really is to get respect. Asking if a team offer you your money before the game is different. Going up to someone and asking for money before you've done the work doesn't send a good message. Going up to teams saying, "Where's the team sheet? Why are you late?" That's a bad message. You are starting off 2-0 down. Yes,
Jamal. Take that, Nana.
No.
Wait,
go ahead. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
Barry.
Jamal, our league, we have to pay the ref before the game. We're instructed to pay the ref before every game.
On the leagues that I started at, so when I started on the Celtic league, and she said we have to get our money before, and I said, "Thank you, I'll collect my money afterwards." You know, because these teams need to understand that I'm very serious. You know, I'm very serious. I'm gonna referee to a decent standard. I'm not these other jokey referees. I'll take my money afterwards when I've earned it.
But you know, I mean, you know, we can have to commend the like team that actually received like the 7 reds, because like they like could have easily kicked off, and you know they hey, like they didn't say anything. They really had swore, but again, exactly what Jamal said, that could have easily got physical. After like the 3rd or 4th, easily.
Yeah, but both teams recognise he was inadequate, isn't it? So what's the point?
Yeah, man. I mean, and the worst thing is with those kind of assaults, that's when the referee doesn't get referees don't get punched or slapped for that. That's when they end up getting jumped. And you know, boy, that ref is a lucky man.
Okay, so let's go on to the next clip.
It's a friendly, yeah? You're the same club?
You see what they done to me last season?
I haven't seen anything last season.
Alright.
It's a friendly.
Don't worry, I weren't here.
I don't want to. First of all, I don't want to be waving cards around.
Of course.
All right. If you feel like a player on your team is getting way out of hand, do me a favour, just take them off. Bring a sub on for 10 minutes. Let them have a little break. I don't want to have to make any kind of stupid things like sin bins and anything like that. So try and be in charge as well. All right. Because player safety is the most important thing. No one wants to get injured before the start of the season, do they? All right. So if you see someone getting out of control, have a word with them. Tell them to go 10 minutes. Bring someone else on. Right. That way, if I start booking, then it's going to get out of hand, and we don't want to do that. Not in a friendly. All right, and we'll keep the game flowing as much as possible. Advantages, things like that. But if I think we have to stop it, we'll stop it. All right. Other than that, let's just have a good game.
I'm going to go to you, Emeka. If a kind of referee spoke to the team or to the captain like that, I mean, does that go up? You know, like in terms of your kind of overall respect of a referee and at kind of non-league grassroots level?
No, look, I've captained the team at that level. I've been captain. I had like other people captain the team. When I've been captain, the referees have said that I don't go back and tell the team. And I've never been in the change room. My captain's come back in and said, "Oh, the referee said so and so." Like when Nana was going about that chat that he has, even when you get all the players together, we don't take any notice of what you said. Here's that whistle goes. When you get in the game and it's a competitive game, you're not listening to what the referee said. You're going to a challenge because the ball's there to be won. If someone's giving you shit, you give them shit back. Like it's, what the referee said goes out the window when you're in competition. So yeah, when referees want to do that, I get the intention behind it. But yeah, once the whistle goes and like men are trying to win a game, you don't listen to any of that, to be honest.
Cool. Jamal, Nana?
Well, speech, innit?
Well, yeah, the ref is one of my refs. Elliot Ryan, he took my course a few years ago. That's when it's a bit different for a ref having a speech when he has both captains there. That speech was a bit too long, but at least Elliot was showing his true personality. He intends to be friendly, unbiased, and sensible, and that's exactly how he referees.
Cool.
That's my point. You listen. Like in my experience as a referee, is like I said, it's always helped me. But one game, it's always helped me. I don't care what Jamal says in terms of it, like it's a speech or whatever it is. But the thing is, once you set your stall from the beginning of the game, it sets a precedent for the whole game. If you tell them, I expect this, I expect that from you, it sets a precedent for the whole game. And for me, in my experience, it works. If you tell me I don't want any swearing, for example, I do a lot of the youth games, and you have parents, like say under 13, under 10, whatever it is, and you have the parents on the side swearing and all that. You don't want that in football. So if you tell them that this is what I expect from you guys,
it makes you look weak. I know for me, it makes you look weak as a player. The reason that when I did captain teams, I wouldn't go back and tell the team is because that message that you're trying to give is basically saying I'm weak. Okay, I'm telling you all of this stuff because when it happens in a game, I don't want to have to, actually do my role and take control of things. You guys need to do it for me. Don't put position.
I respect that, but don't forget that you're playing at a decent level
and do your job. Don't tell the players to do the job for you.
You're playing at a decent level. You're still playing at a decent level. Don't forget that you and the people in your team or the level you're playing at are more clued in into what's expected from the referee, as opposed to a lot of the other teams. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
So once you set your stall, it's a lot easier for you. Like I said, Jamal was saying, if I'm doing the West Ham, if I'm doing the West Ham games or all those things, I don't talk to them about anything. I just go there, do my job, and go away. But if I go to Hackney matches on a Saturday afternoon, or morning or Sunday morning, these people play on a different level. And as soon as you set your stall, it helps. That's what I'm saying.
No. What you're spouting is basically bullcrap. Like, you really think? You see, the thing is, there's two parts here that I want to get at. Firstly, are you actually comparing your speech to what this guy was doing? Are you actually comparing the two together? Because they're completely different worlds. What he did was have a friendly chat to the captains. Your speech is like the end credits of Titanic. It's like a long, drawn-out process. We feel we're dying.
Right.
Like me and Tabriz was having a conversation while he was having your speech.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, Tabriz, do you think he looks in the mirror when he says this speech when he's practicing? It's a mess. That's my first point.
All jokes aside, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm saying that it's only one game that hasn't worked for me.
But hold on now.
So I'm not changing it.
Let me say one other thing.
I'm not
changing
changing
one other thing. You're actually speaking to the wrong audience. If you think those guys on Hackney Marshes give a damn about your little speech. They're the worst people to give that speech to. As Emeka said, that's like throwing blood in the shark pool. As far as I'm concerned, this man's an idiot. You're I'm not taking it. That's almost a challenge. It's almost a
Well, we
challenge.
have to understand a couple of things. So with Nana's pragmatic approach, right? He's saying it's always worked one bar one time, literally one time. So therefore, he wouldn't change it. I know it's different. I just think knowing Nana's referee style, Nana doesn't have to do that to referee a game effectively, especially when when he's at his best and he's sharp. So I know it's worked for you, and yeah, don't change it if you don't want to. All I know is if you didn't do it,
he just won't do
if
it
you
for our
didn't
games.
do it, you would still get the same respect. That's what I
For
feel.
our games. I just think, me personally, maybe because I know Nana, but when he does that speech, I just find it hilarious. I find it hilarious. I'm not paying attention. I'm not taking it serious because at the end of the day, he's not telling me anything that I don't already know. So the speech is unnecessary. Yes, he may continue to do it and he may love to do it. I believe Nana actually enjoys giving that speech. He enjoys bringing people in and talking this, and I'm here, and I got my shirt, and he tucks his shirt in before he gives it, and he's all, it's a mess, but that's fine, that's his mess.
I tag my shirt is a mess.
Yeah, you do, you're like this.
Are you
You're
mad?
Like, guys, come here.
See, Jamal, they don't appreciate professionalism.
It's a mess, but hey, it's your mess. But what I'm saying is, if you think them guys on Hackney Marshes, who are probably getting their half cut, have any interest in what you've just said for 2 minutes, they don't give a damn. They're like, blow the whistle. When I kick off, I dare you to do something. It's irrelevant. I think you're more with the kids. I get the kids. I get the children. That's fine. Parents shouldn't be doing that. Can I ask you, Nana? So when you're talking about the kids, do you bring the parents into that as well?
Say again?
When you're giving this speech for kids game, do you bring the parents in as well? Do you call them in as well? Come on, parents, come in.
That's a stupid question, Ray.
No, because you said the parents are swearing, so I'm assuming you give the parents a little lecture as well.
Games like these, I bring the managers in, I bring the whole team in about the parents.
Oh, so you leave the parents out?
So, come on, I'm going to call everybody around the pitch because I want to make it.
Nothing past you, no. When you're tucking your shirt,
don't be
you feel
silly.
almighty and powerful.
Don't
You're
be
like,
silly, Ray.
I got my shirt, I got my cards, I'm ready.
For me, one of the major things for me is respect, because I respect you as a player, and I play, so I need you to respect me as a ref, and I don't tolerate dissent. I manage it, but I don't. I think that we look if you look at the Premier League right now, and you see you can almost read the list of the players, how they tell the referee to fuck off, like every chance they get. I think that's appalling. Referees do nothing about it. But what message does it send to the grassroots players, the young boys who are up and coming? I can do that and get away with it, and I don't tolerate that at all. So I want something to be established before we kick off. And once I do that, I'm confident that, like I said, it's only one game that it hasn't worked for me because the team literally wanted to kick the shit out of each other, and that's fine. My cards came out. I think that game I got 7 yellow cards.
It's like a personal affirmation. It's like your affirmation speech. It's like you go in the mirror and say, "I am wonderful today. I am powerful. I'm the ref." That's basically what you're saying. You're doing. You're just pumping yourself up. You're like you're not taking any crap today. Is that what it is?
Ray, don't wind up Nana today. Come on now. All right, let's get
some little cards. You are great, Nana. Well done. Have a great day.
You know what? Okay, let's kind of move on to the kind of next video.
One more time to Reese, please.
Okay, one more time.
Why do you need to look at it more?
Jamal, can you ask Dana that again, please? Because I don't think everyone.
No, it's against his training. He knows we're not allowed, because when we're doing video analysis, you're only allowed to look at it once because that's how it is in the match. So I don't know why he's asking.
No,
You can't have no replays. He knows that.
You know, to be fair, I'm not home, so sometimes the video cuts out.
Okay.
All right. So let's kind of start.
Okay.
Let's kind of start with Coach Barry. What did you think about that tackle, and did it deserve a card?
Definitely. He got nothing of the ball whatsoever. I just think it's a straight red. That's my opinion.
And what if it was one of your boys on the receiving end of a tackle like that?
I might be on the pitch.
Okay, all right. And Emeka, I know that you said at the beginning you like strong, solid, hefty challenges. I mean, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I think it's the yellow card for me.
A yellow?
Like you see me play, I'm a quick player, and like what I've known from my career of playing football is when I'm like that and it's my pace that gets me around the play and someone does a really bad tackle, what referees always say to me is, like you're just quick and skillful. Like he wasn't actually trying to hurt you or anything like that. It's just you've now made it a bad tackle because you got there so much faster than he probably expected. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, what I've always been told by referees. If you would have asked me like 10 years ago, I'll say that's a red card, but I've had too many of those on me where referees told me, like you're too quick, so it is what it is.
Wow. And Jamal, I mean, again, I've actually heard referees say that because the players too quick or too skillful, it's kind of saying that they literally deserve to be tackled or challenged like that. I mean,
to be honest with you, referees shouldn't be having that sort of conversation with Emeka to the point where it's now had a stamp on him, on his understanding of how referees think. We might think that, but it shouldn't be like, oh mate, well, you're too quick, so you're gonna get fouled. If anything, they should be saying, hey, sorry, the best players in the pitch get fouled. That's just how it is. I'm gonna do the best I can to protect you. But yeah, first things first, that wasn't even a ref, so that's one thing. Second, I would expect a yellow card to be given for that. The pace of the challenge isn't that fast. It's a leg. He's actually challenged with the side of his foot, so it's very difficult to inflict the level of damage needed to be a red card. If a ref did get a red card, as Barry suggested, I would be discussing why did you think that. Pending the level of explanation, as a referee observer, I could support that decision, but they would have to use the correct referee jargon for that. For a single-footed challenge where there's no stud showing, the leg is bent, the player is in control of the challenge, I wouldn't be expecting a yellow card for that.
Okay, cool. Let's kind of move on to something that everyone experiences, especially at grassroots level.
That's great. Play. See, you're in. He's not. Play, Ball, you're in. Go on. Get your flag down! That's how many fucking times now, yeah? Watch that. He's clearly on there. God, are you playing this? Yes, you're taking the fucking he's getting the fucking flag now.
The kind of trigger happy linesman. Let me kind of start with Ray. We've been on that kind of pitch as well, where that kind of opposition's lino is constantly putting up his flag. I mean, what have you said to players to actually combat this?
There's nothing you can say. The guy's cheating. It's that simple. And sometimes they give it. I mean, you can look at someone and you can see if they know what they're even doing. I mean, all right, maybe it's a assumption, but sometimes you can look at a guy and look at him and see he knows what he's doing. He knows the offside, and he's actually cheating. Whereas you can see someone who's just been given the flag, here, run the line, doesn't know what he's doing, and you do have some sympathy for him, but his team have said just stick the flag up. Anything tight, stick the flag up. And there's nothing really you can do. what I have seen done and what I like to see done is when a referee, to me, sometimes referees cop out and they almost take the easy way out and just go with him because he's put the flag up. And that I find far more annoying than even the person doing it. Like some games, you've seen the referee and they've got an inkling that that's happening, and they may go with the first one, they may go with the next one, but you can see themselves adjusting their position to see for the next one. And those referees, I like to see when they do it, because you can see they're actually looking at it and saying, I'm not sure about that last one. They don't tell us, but you can see from the way they're managing the game, they're like, I want to be in line or in and amongst the line so I can see. And then at some point during the game, they'll say, no, put your flag down. They'll let the game go on and say he was onside, no. And that's the only way around that. It happens on a Saturday almost at least, what?
That's true.
Twice a month. Twice a month that happens. You get guys, you call them airplane man. They just flag. Minute they hey, I'm bringing down a plane. They just flag their arms on spring. It happens. And I will admit, I tell our linesmen, if that's the game we're going to play and the referee's allowing it, if the referee, you see...
Hey, Days. Oh, my.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
Are you being
Wow.
serious?
Yes.
Nana Boaki. Man. You need to chat to your man then, fam. Listen, what are you telling me?
I'm saying to my players, as I said, I'm led by the referee. You can look at a referee and you can see whether or not he's taking this into account. And I understand he's going to go with him the first few times. But if we're getting towards the end of the first half and this man's still paying attention, and I'm not talking tight decisions, I'm talking where guys are like 5-10 yards onside. They're nowhere near being offside. It's not even close. And they're still giving it. Then I'm sorry. I'm telling my man, flag up. Same way. This is the game we're going to play today. Stick your flag up. And it's easy for you to shake your head, Jamal, but because you're not, the environment you're refereeing in is a totally different environment to the environment we are in. Because we've got one man in the middle who I can't guarantee his sanity and his skill. And we've got them cheating. So am I going to go down and be the martyr and be like, we're going to be the fair team and we're going to give the tight decisions against us and benefit them cheating? Not on my watch. Stick your flag up. Stick your flag up.
Well, I mean, the referee here, other than breaking protocol of wearing white boots, but anyways, the club assistant situation, we call it club assistant referees, which is basically an assistant referee provided by the club. I never experienced that until I moved to this country, which is just crazy. But so many leagues now have done up with them. They've said, let the ref call it on their own. So at least if you know the ref cannot make an offside decision or gets it incorrect, you know that they just can't see, rather than having someone. I mean, it goes against every fabric of what refereeing and officiating is, which is unbiased. How can you be unbiased if you're part of a club? You know, in terms of perception, you know, practically you can be. But that referee in particular needs a bit more training and guidance on how to deal with that situation, because accepting every single flag when there's a bit of a pattern, that isn't quite right.
Cool. Okay. Well, we have one more clip before the end of the show. And you know, again, this is like to actually everyone.
Grassroots football is hard to be a referee, you know it is, you know, and everybody thinks that they're a professional because they watch the pro game and they want to give official stick. But all we're trying to do is just try to do our job because we love football. You know how it is. Everybody wants to come out and just have a go at playing football, and the referee wants to have a go at refereeing the game. Simple as that.
Okay. So again, Jamal, I'll kind of let you lead.
I know how people respond to that. Oh, Jamal's not really a referee. He's still a player in his head. I'm sorry. Being a player, much more difficult than being a referee. Being a player, playing at high levels, playing at medium levels, low levels, I didn't get nowhere near as much respect until I became a ref. Whether it's social status, standing, respect, player, I was just another player. And you guys know what I mean. I was just another. I ain't gonna say it. When I became a ref, I wasn't just another. You know. So playing and managing especially grassroots managing at every level, but grassroots managing, what Barry and Ray and Paul and these people do, asking for subs, putting up nets. Oh Lord, listen to me. Refereeing is a lot easier than playing, a lot easier than managing. Difficult job, of course. And I guess the hard part about refereeing is there isn't that reward from that people might get from managing and playing. But I love everything the gentleman said, but it's still much more difficult than refereeing from my experiences.
Cool. And Coach Barry?
On refereeing?
Yeah.
I've got a question for Jamal still. Jamal, the biggest problem we find in a lot of grassroots football is referees that are so unfit, who cannot even keep up with the game and just stand in the middle of that pitch. And they can't move, they're giving decisions, and it causes all the animosity in the game because he can't keep up with the game, he's unfit, he can't really see what's happening. And there's so many referees like that. Why is that? I know that you do a lot of training and coaching referees. Why is that? So many referees are not fit to be appreciated.
On average in London, so take away the pandemic, then we have about anywhere between 200 and 300 matches without a referee. It's a massive shortage. When I became a referee, we had about just under 30,000 referees. We're now just over 20,000 referees nationally. So because of that, those lazy center circle refs, as we call them, have way more power than ever. Because you'd rather have them than no one, right? Or number 10's dad from the other team refereeing the game. So because of that, those refs have so much power. And then on top of that, your league doesn't get refs don't want to ref in that league. So your league gets very little referee recruitment. They don't have access to the better up and coming refs. So even the people who just passed the course, when someone just passed the course, so let's say someone like Emeka will take the course, he'd probably already be a better referee than some people who've been refereeing for a year or so. He just wouldn't referee in that league because of he probably get opportunities to referee for the more attractive leagues, whatever. So there's a referee shortage, and then on top of that, your league doesn't recruit the best refs.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And Emeka, referees at non-league level. I mean, can you kind of make a statement about them?
I think for me, refereeing's a lot easier than playing or managing because I feel like I don't know. I think it's all about consistency. If you want to get my respect and most players' respect, just be consistent. If you're going to be bad, I don't mind if you're going to be bad, but I understand what a bad decision is, and I know it's going to be consistent throughout the 90 minutes. But there's so many referees that'll give one decision, and then 10 minutes later they'll do the complete opposite, and that's why players get angry. Like trying to be consistent as a player is a lot harder. You've got 10 other players that impact that. As a referee, that's one man. Like, how hard is it to stay consistent for 90 minutes? I actually think it's quite easy, but people find, I don't know why.
It isn't easy.
But it's like, okay, well, this is what I gave here. So if it happens again throughout the game, like if people are giving you loads of stick for a decision, surely, but okay, you know what? If it happens again, I was going to do the same thing, and then no one can.
That's the hard part. So remember, consistency is a key referee skill. The life skill to go with consistency is memory. And your memory is affected by so many things. Your lung capacity, how much blood is in your brain at the time. Don't forget that you're running 4, 5, 6, 7 miles in a match. So the referees don't understand that. The ones that do are probably the ones that you think are good because they have the memory to remember what they gave. Do you expect me to remember what I gave in the second minute? It's now the 88th minute. You expect me to
It depends what it is. If it's like, okay, I allowed someone to take a quick free kick there, but I'm not allowing someone here. Someone goes down with a head injury, so I stop an attack. If someone goes down with a head injury and you don't stop that attack, it's like, well, of course we're going to get angry now because you did it to us. So you have to do it to them. I think there's just certain things that you just have to do. I understand like certain tackles, like with different heights, it was like an inch hit. I get those ones, but there's certain principles in the game. I think you have to stay consistent, and then some referees don't.
Cool. And you know what? That's a great way to end this show. Thank you to all of the viewers. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you to Paul and Nana that had to make a quick exit. I want to thank you to Jamal, Ray, Coach Barry, a mecca. I want to salute everyone that literally loves grassroots football, and I want to salute everyone that's literally fighting for black people in the game. You know, fighting for people who literally want to make a change. And again, you know, I don't, you know, I'm not going to make any apologies here. We will be talking about this a lot more often. I know that there's certain like platforms that will shy away from these type of topics. I'm not one of them. So, you know, literally, I want to salute everyone that's, you know, trying to make a change, and together we will move the needle. And yeah, you know, that's really all I have to say. So, you know, I want to thank everyone. We'll be back next week at 8 o'clock with some fresh topics. Thank you again. My name is Tabriz. This is the Amateur Footballer Unhinged. I will see you next week, Sunday.